One more race to go, and it's race number 6. It's over the 1900 metres, and I've got my runner in there, Karma Chameleon. He'd certainly have a chance, but because I'm so optimistic about all my horses, I'm going to let you tell us who's going to win this one.
Well, I like Karma Chameleon anyway. That's my selection, actually, Justin. But there are some nice horses in here. One that I do like and a little bit is On War. Satish Seema and Richard Mullen ran quite well the last season. But this is early season, so you've got to look at it a little bit. I know all horses are a little bit suspect first runs. But the way your horse runs here, he had a great season a couple of seasons ago in England.
Yeah.
And I just like him. I think he's a horse that's probably now acclimatised and knows the place so well, knows the track really well, runs okay, didn't run too bad even when he was down the field even.
Yeah, I mean, my complaint about him last year was we didn't get the same jockey very often.
No.
I think he had 7 runs and 6 jockeys, which didn't help him. He was a young horse. He'd had a hard season the year before he'd come here. Most horses improved for the first season here. His last race here, he was beaten ahead by Blues Tiger's Eye. He fell out the stalls, and I mean fell out the stalls. Pat Dobbsy was very lucky to stay on board.
He was very unlucky to lose the race.
Yeah, he ripped his shoe off, which you know because you were at the yard that year.
He was very, very unlucky. That's why I
got a bit of nose.
I think that was a win that we didn't have.
Yeah,
and this is why he deserves this chance to win again, and I think he can.
Well, look, I think one of the things last year is I know Wayne Smith got off him and said, if I'd ridden him before, I'd have won. Ty got off him and said, if I'd have ridden him before, I'd have won. I'm glad I talked to him before the race, lads, if you're listening to this. Pat, probably through circumstances, pretty much rode the horse exactly as he should be. Drop him in, let him be comfortable, travel wherever he likes. The big thing is when you hit the home straight, bring him wide, let him have a clear bit of daylight, and he's got an unbelievable turn of foot for a 10 furlong horse.
What I think is this trip suits him down to the ground 1900 metres on this track. It's literally about 1 and a bit laps in it.
Yeah.
And really, it's horses for courses on this track. There's so many horses that don't perform in it. That the ones that do, you've got to really keep an eye on.
Well, a lot of horses in this race. This is what caught my eye. We're actually in Blue-Eyed Tigers. Karma Chameleon's second race, they're in that.
Sure.
On War he was just 2 lengths behind, but he's won since and got up 6 pounds. We're actually getting a 3 kilo pull on him. You go through the field, there's really I think the 11 runners, 9 of them or 8 of them were in that race.
See, this is the thing. You can use Blue Tiger's Eye a couple of times.
Grizzle was in
Ectobus was a 1.5 lengths behind Blue Tiger's Eye. Then came against Karma Chameleon and Blue Tiger's Eye and was miles behind.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a great form line, and Karma Chameleon is actually a standout horse again. This is another horse
on form
that really goes boom and hits you in the eye.
The worry would be the one draw. Now I've got no issue with him being covered up. I said a couple of times last year, if you can drop him in and get him covered up. It's the way Seb Sanders rode him in England at Kempton. Kept him covered up until the false rail went. As soon as he got a bit of gap, he gave him a bit of daylight, let him go. That's what's needed to be done here.
Let's hope we don't get a problem like that over 1900s
with
10 runners.
You shouldn't have. It's not the toughest of races. There's a few horses there you'd probably say are on the downgrade. There's a few that you're probably not sure whether they like MEYDAN.
Yeah.
But there are a couple, which is what I was hoping you'd pick up on, running here for the first time.
Yeah.
You've got representation.
Yeah.
4-year-old. Obviously, you look at his last 2 runs in the UK and there's alarm bells.
Yeah.
But his race at Wolverhampton, I've already said I think it's similar to this track. Over 1900.
Yeah.
It is a similar track. It's tight. It's very similar surface. He won there by 2 lengths in his maiden. So you've got to give him a shout.
I'll give him a shout, but I wondered about his last race at Kempton where he eased over 200 metres out and he tailed off.
Yeah.
And hasn't run since, obviously, but he'll probably need a race.
He will probably need the run. He probably had an issue and he's coming back from that. Your Drubas will probably need the run. On War, obviously he won his last race, but that was at Jebel Ali. His form here at MEYDAN, beyond Blue Tiger's Eye, Karma Chameleon, and before that, behind Udabar and Karma Chameleon. He's been behind Karma Chameleon twice.
You can't really, even though £2 up Karma Chameleon from that race, you can't really justify that him getting beat for me. Not on form.
The only one thing that would worry me, he needed his first run last year. Although I said off air to you a minute ago, the jockey that day tried to make all with him, which is not the way to ride him. You need to keep
What
him
encourages
behind.
me is the trip, the jockey, the way he ran last time out. I know it's a long while ago now, but everything and the form with Blue Tiger's Eye is solid.
Good. And the last bit, if you're looking at betting terms, to give you a bit of a boost, he has summered exceptionally well. He looks great. He is my big hope for the season. I really like the horse. I think he's a lovely horse. And I have said a couple of times, so I'll say it on air and put the pressure on Doug. I think he's bottom end of the carnival. I think he can get to that 95 mark. He might not get a run in the carnival off 95.
This is why
I
you
think
need,
he's
this is why you need to win first.
He
time
needs
out,
to win
isn't it?
this year.
Exactly. Yeah.
He wins this, gets up to about 86, 87. He's got a chance of getting one more run before the carnival.
Good idea.
The only worry is the next race he'll have to carry about 53, so he'll be finding a jockey, because Pat won't be able to do 53 unless you chop a leg off.
Sometimes you can find a race where maybe you're carrying 55 and
There isn't many races for us. It's
we'll see. We'll
the
see.
weakest. But anyway, I'm going to tip Karma.
Same way.
The only worrying thing is I've just had a look on your site, and so did Pat Cummins tip Karma. The last time we all tipped, three of us tipped the same horse. It finished fourth.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
3 for Karma Chameleon. Midnight Moon is my nap.
Yes, and one.
So Midnight Moon, Karma Chameleon, put them in a double, go and take the money back off the bookies that you lost in the first 4 races. That's Talking Horses for one more week. We'll be back next week with Jebel Ali. Until then, Mark Monkhouse at UAE.com. Also check out Pat Cummins at Dubai
Racenight.
Racenight.com. Yeah. And for me, Justin Byrne, see you soon.